Good evening. Welcome to the Land Tamer stream. It is Thursday night. We're doing some more BGP. The wallpaper of the day is from the new Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer, which you've probably seen, but if not, this is one of my favorite characters from the new series, the evil guy, the bad guy, Kylo Ren. Cool stuff. Really excited. Got my tickets. Just trying to figure out how many times I'm going to see it when it comes out. At least one, maybe two, possibly three. Anyway. Carrying right along, guys, we are continuing with some Bgp attributes today, but before I get into some of those labs, I want to talk about vlog just about what's going on with my CCIE track and study program right now in the stream. So let me pull up the agenda here. So I did start today listening to some Pluralsight videos. That is a program that is offered through my employer. And it's really good. I really like it. Now, I don't know if it would be the best in terms of preparing for, of course, as a primary. Maybe it is. It doesn't cover all the topics. It doesn't seem. I'm still kind of delving into it, but it does have extensive videos on BGP. So I started going through those because I finished up the I&E video set for the most part. I have a little bit left in one of the videos, but I'm going through those and decided, you know, it'd be nice to, it just didn't seem like it was enough. And maybe it is. Again, we're kind of rounding through the middle, kind of like the second, third of the BGP material in the labs. I guess I'm a little surprised that we're actually getting kind of far through BGP and maybe soon approaching the end of the initial pass through the materials. So I'm excited about that. And Pluralsight so far has been really nice. There have been a couple graphics that are really cool. I'm not going to share all of them, but that graphic gives you kind of an idea. That was a screenshot I did. It covers some material in kind of a PowerPoint presentation, but an overview for the first few chapters, and then it does some labs. And it's really geared more, I think, towards the written, but it's a great review. So I've been going through that. I'm also trying something new with the chat window. I've modified the overlay here, and I can kind of see it, but the YouTube chat window is down there at the bottom right. I already see some things I don't like about it. I did a quick edit today of the overlay in Photoshop Elements, but I'm probably going to make it smaller or less obtrusive or something, but we're going to try it out. In fact, I'm going to try to chat in another browser here in a minute. Just do that just to make sure that's working okay. Like we'll load up Chrome. And I'm going to swing over here to, not sure what's happening there. Let's do Firefox. Oh, I see what the deal is. It's not letting me put that. Here we go. So anyway, I'm going to try this out real quick and just make sure that this is working. Couldn't really test this any other way except during a live stream that I know of. So I'm going to log in with another account, my main account. And it doesn't like that for some reason, so let me try a different one here. While I'm doing that, there is one of the meat chunks today is the new Network Collective episode, which I have not listened to yet. And normally I don't recommend anything I have not looked at or recommended myself. However, it is Radia Perlman, so the inventor of Spanning Tree, one of the authors of Spanning Tree, and I read one of her books, which was good. So it's got to be good. I will be definitely listening to it tomorrow. Okay, just going to try this account here. One moment. Okay, I'm logged in. Now I'm going to go to my channel. Okay, cool. It says live now. I'm going to click on that. Oops. Playing myself there. Anyway, there's the chat. Looks like it popped up. That's actually an old account that I tried to use when I was first learning YouTube and got community strikes on it by accident. I'm going to load OBS. Okay, looks like it's cutting it off a little bit there, so let me move it down. Bear with me here, folks. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, so move right along. We got that working, so we're going to try that out, and so many things I want to tweak on this stream and on this channel. I'm going to continue to do so. But we'll get into whip cracking, which is Bgp Attributes. Hope to get 2 or more labs of these done today. And let's go ahead and open those up. I've already loaded the topology. It is also under the INE topology files. This is BGP full. It's the same topology we've used the last few days. And this time we're going to do, so far we've done wait, done local preference, and today we're going to work on AS path, modifying the AS path. So this should be interesting. Something I have done before. So let me get the requirements loaded up here. I'm just stopping some of those switches that we don't need that automatically load in the topology. And let's look at our requirements here today. Okay, BGP best path selection, AS path. Ensure BGP configuration to influence path from the previous task is removed. That was done. I can see why they put that in here now in case someone was doing one after the other. Okay, using AS path prepending. Configure AS200 so that traffic from AS100 to AS254 transits AS300. So there's the same requirements as yesterday with local preference, except that this time it wants us to use AS path prepending. Okay, easy enough, I would think. So let's look at the topology. If we look over here, we want to do this on R6, and we want to configure it so that, again, traffic from AS100, which is my local autonomous system, going towards 254 is going to traverse AS300. So in this case, what we want to do is append AS, and we need to prepend the AS of anything for, let's see, if we've got 254 coming this way, let me think through this. And we've got 254 coming this way. Okay, so when it comes inbound, we want to do this on our 6 though. No, it doesn't say it has to be R6, because I think what we have to do is when routes come in to AS100 from 254 by way of AS200, then we want those to be prepended. So I believe what's going to happen is that's going to be, which links is that? That's going to be incoming to router 1 and router 4. we want to prepend them here inbound. So let's just double check that. Let's go ahead and load up our routers here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, I'm looking over here to make sure it doesn't block, the chats window doesn't block it. And all right, I think that's, there we go, that works. We don't have to get used to that. We don't have to make that thing smaller. All right, so let's look at router 4 and router 6. That would be here. Talent, that's a new program. All right, so let's do show IPBGP, and we want to see routes that originate in $254. Is that correct? Is it 254? Yes. What is wrong with my expression here? Show IPBGP. Oh, am I not learning any on router 4? That's interesting. How about on router 6? Well, no, router 1, I should say. We're not learning any routes from 254. Is that just a convergence issue? Let's look at router 10. Do show IPBGP summary. Okay, it says 8 and 9. Now this is local AS number 54. Do show IPBGP. And this is VRF. How do I show with VRF? Show IPBGP. Show run section BGP. Now, yesterday when this was loaded up, it was definitely... Well, that is strange. It's not here. Did it? BGP full. Oh, that might be the wrong topology, folks. Basic BGP routing. So that was a mistake on my part. Let's stop the simulation. Something was wrong. Okay, so while that is stopping, I think what we have to do here is we need to create, let's say this is router 4 or router 1, for example. So I think I can kind of run through this without, I think I know what this is going to look like anyway. Router BGP 100. Actually, let's do first IP AS path access list 10 permit and this needs to be underscore $254. Yes, that's what we want. And then we're going to do route map AS prepend permit 10 match AS path 10. And let's see, how do we prepend? That has been a while, so I'm going to need to look this up for sure. Let's go to our documentation here. And configuration guide, IP routing BGP. Where did we see this yesterday? There was a good technology document. I think that's where we need to go. It was not BGP case studies. Where was that technology white paper? BGP case studies. Yeah. There it is. Set AS path prepend. So then we're going to do set AS path prepend, and we're just going to add 100, 100. We'll just add it 3 times just for fun. And then we're going to do route map AS prepend permit 20. All right, this simulation should be stopped. So we're going to go back to our repository, and we're going to load the correct simulation here. It's going to be basic BGP routing, I believe. Yes, basic BGP routing. So let's load this up. Okay, so this is going to be our router 1. And so again, coming back through here, actually, let's continue our configuration. We're going to say router BGP 100 neighbor, and this neighbor is going to be 1.5.1.13.3 route map AS underscore prepend in. And what other neighbors? I believe we're also going to be a neighbor with router 5. Most likely we are. So let's put that in there too, just in case. Neighbor 15105 route map AS underscore prepend in. That should do it on router 1. Then we have to come over here to router 6. Or sorry, router 4. We're going to say IP AS path access list 10 permit, same thing. And the neighbor this time though is going to be 45.5. Yeah, I don't think he's a neighbor this way, so. Now as far as adding that in here, it doesn't matter if they come through this way because we want them to go that way anyway. So if by chance a route, well, yeah, they're going to be routes learned from AS200. They're going to come in this way. Okay. That should do it, I believe. And then for verification, what we'll do, yeah, I think that's all we need. We'll just let these routers load up. It's going to take a minute. Yeah, hope everybody's having a good Thursday. That means tomorrow is Friday. So I plan to study this weekend. Friday night is my night off. And then Saturday should be a good day, because Saturday I have actually a couple of changes to make. So I can't do anything too crazy Saturday. We'll be doing some shopping, things like that. But I have to be here to do a little work, so I'll be doing some labbing as well. And then Sunday I hope to get quite a ways through these BGP labs. Okay, so let's see how we're looking here. Looks like the router is loading up, router 1 anyway. I still need to do a flashcard for BGP best path selection. I have been reviewing that. There was some good material in the INE workbook. Actually, the lab key, and this is my disclaimer, I haven't said it yet, but this lab I'm doing here, the requirements, I did not design these, nor topology. I'm just working through them. This is from the INE workbook. I highly recommend you, if you're interested in doing these yourself, to grab the workbook. If you have not already, the answer keys were excellent on these. In fact, there was some information in the workbook answer key for BGP path selection. It was almost like a lecture actually in the answer key. That was really good. I actually made a snapshot of it because I plan to reference it in the future. But the next one we do is origin code. And then after that, it is, let's see here, med. Now, med's going to be interesting. I'm almost feeling, though, like, you know, kind of cruising here through the videos, cruising through reading, but I feel like I'm going to need a lot more practice. Like, just going through local preference in one lab is not, obviously it's not going to be enough. I think at the end of the BGP section itself, that there are a couple of medium-sized sort of labs that kind of combine all these methods. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. I haven't really looked through it in depth, but it appears there's a section, kind of like at the end of OSPF, there were 3 redistribution challenges for IGPs, where it involved redistribution between RIP, OSPF, EIGRP, and kind of tested the knowledge of that. That was great. I'm hoping I believe there's something like this at the end of the BGP section as well, which is what I need. I'm going to need a lot more practice on this stuff, I feel. So BGP is still converging here. The other routers are still coming up. This is going to take a minute still. But just kind of review again. Basically, this says IP AS path access list 10 permit, and this means anywhere in the string where it starts with 254 and $, so it's at the end of the input string. So basically, any route that originates from AS254, we want to match that and prepend our own AS at least 3 times. And from what I understand, this number is arbitrary. These 100s, I could put anything in here, any valid information in here. It's just common network practice and good sanity to use your own AS number here. And then we're going to allow all other routes in. And then we're adding this to our neighbor statements. And we're doing this on router 4 and router 1, the other entry points into AS100. So let's see how we're doing here. We've got one adjacency, so show IPBGP, actually show run. Let's see how many neighbors, just confirm how many neighbors we need to configure this on. Yeah, I've heard some comments. Viral is kind of slow when it boots. That's been kind of a general consensus among people I've talked to or chatted with about it. It definitely does take it a minute to boot, but once it boots up, it runs like a champ, or seems to. Okay, now notice this. We need to be careful here. No, we're fine. This is... Router 1 is a route reflector, but that's just iBGP, so that's not a big deal. Again, we're trying to influence the prefixes as they come in from eBGP. And we only have one eBGP neighbor here, so we don't need to do that. I suspected that, but I wanted to check and make sure. So let's go ahead and modify router 1. Before we do that even, let's do show IPBGP and regex underscore $254. No convergence yet. Either that or I'm not using the correct regular expression. No, they're not converged yet. Please tell me I loaded the correct. Yes, basic BGP routing. Let's take a look at router 4, see where he's at. Show IPBGP. Okay. Now, it said that some routers were up. BGP neighbor up. Okay. Router 4. So if that's the case, that's just the adjacencies of. It sounds like they have not exchanged routes yet. Yeah. Okay, now we're starting to get routes. Now we see 254. And these are all, it looks like 45.5. Show IPBGP. Regular expression, $254. There we go. So again, we're getting these from this one is learned via iBGP. We know that from the I, right? And the local pref is set to 100, metric is 0. So, but we're worried about these, which is 13.3. So let's go ahead and do that on router 1. See if it takes all our commands. Wouldn't it be great if we got it all in the first try? That would be awesome. First try hype. And let's capture some of this on candid camera here. Well, these switches are running too. That's one reason it's running kind of slow as well. Yeah, I need to stop those. We don't need those. Goodbye, switches. Appreciate the thought, but we don't need you. So what we want to see is probably on router 6. We want to see what those BGP update packets look like with the AS path. So let's do that. We're going to do PCAP filter TCP port 179. Create. Okay. So let's see what happened here. Show up your BGP. Let's do a clear. We need to clear IPBGP star soft. We need to do that on router 6 and router 1. Router 6 is the one that clear IPBGP star soft. Okay, I just wanted to get a glimpse of that, but now if we do regex, there we go, prepended. Prepended the heck out of them. All right, good. So let's verify the configuration. We should now see if we do a trace route to, for example, to 51, 51, 51, 51. This goes to router 6, then through router 7, then through router 3, router 2, 254. So now, shouldn't I see 300 here? I mean, I know router 7 is in AS300. I thought I would see that on the trace route. Let's see what happens when I go to one of these interfaces. Trace route 151.37.7. Okay, what if I go to something here in router 9? That's probably not in there. 155.1.79.9. All these say 200. Because this goes to, we've got multiple paths. This is not using BGP, is it? Show IP route. There's a 51. Yeah, known via BGP, distance 200. Route tag 300. I didn't add that, but I think that's part of the pre-configuration. Interesting. Well, the path is definitely going the way we want it to, but I thought the trace route would show me, it would say AS show IP BGP 51, 51, 51, 51. Yes, we're learning it from router 6 and router 3. Oh, it says this one is best. That's correct because of the AS path. So AS path here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the AS path here is 1, 2, 3. So this is the better route. Trace route. Yeah, 254 provides its AS number. Yeah, I don't know why I don't see 300 in there. All right, I'm not gonna concern myself too much with that. We know that this is taking the correct route, and that should complete the lab. Let's check out the packet capture. And look at these update packets. I did a packet capture yesterday. I did not show it on stream, but I just forgot. But I did look at it later. It was what we thought. So let's do coming from, we captured this on router 6. Yes, so here's a route refresh. Here's the update message from router 1. And we should see in here, okay, 155. And here we go. These are coming from, I believe, 254. Nope, that's 254. Here we go. Okay, so this is, here's 5151. Here's the prefix. The AS path segment. Okay, so this, it does not appear to show the prepends. That's from router 1 to router 6. Let's go down a little bit farther, maybe. Okay, here's from, that's from router 6 to router 1. So here's everything from router 1 to 6, route refresh. Here's an update. And here's another update. Maybe this is it. '51, okay, NLRI. Path attribute local pref, cluster list. Med, next hop. AS path. Okay, where is it? Oh, you know what? I wonder if he's not going to send. Is he going to send that to router 6? Because it's not his best path now. Depending on the order, we might not see that. Yeah, let me look on router 1. Show IPBGP. Yeah, it's not the best path, so he's not going to advertise it. He will not advertise that to... We're only going to see this in the local table, aren't we? Okay, that makes sense. Although... Yeah, this is 300, 254, which is the best path. And he is the originator, so it's kind of like he's sending it back. Okay, so we're not going to see an update message, are we? With the AS path prepended. We're going to see it in the local table. But unless that is the best path, it's not going to be advertised as an update message. He's going to advertise this one, which is what we see. Okay. Well, that was good. Good to verify. I guess if we did see that this was the best path somehow, maybe we prepend the other way, like a longer, then all we would see in the update message is the AS path here would be 100, 100, 100. So that makes sense. That makes sense. Glad we sorted that out. All right, let's clear this out, guys, and move on to the next one, which is origin code. And instead of just reloading the entire... Instead of reloading the entire configuration, I think it would be much easier just to do this number here. So we're going to delete this. We're going to delete this. I can just delete the route map, right? I know I've brought this up before and I cannot remember. Yes. And then clear IPBGP star soft. Okay, let's do this now on router 4. Do IPBGP, no, just clear IPBGP star soft. Nice. And we'll do the same on router 6. And we should be back to where we were. Yes, okay. Good deal. All right, let's look at our next set of requirements here. Well, I'm going to look at the answer key and make sure that that was correct. There's a lot of explanation in here. Yes, I did it correctly. Yay. Okay, I'm not going to read through that on stream. I'll read through that later. Let's move on to origin code. Excuse me. Hit my little mic there. Big mic. Folks, beware, next week I'm going to be doing some intense streaming. I have some time off for study. So, of course, I'll be streaming labs on the stream. I will let you know as I know the exact dates and times coming up. Okay, next. Okay, same topology, basic BGP routing. This is origin code. Okay, wait a second. Let me check something. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let me go back for a minute. This was handled, it's the same result, but this was handled a little differently in the last lab. That's a great thing about BGP because, you know, there's so many different ways to skin the cat. What's here in the answer key is to prepend outbound on router 3 and router 5. Still accomplishes the same thing. So let's say router 3, for example. And I just skimmed the answer key a minute ago, but when I came to the next lab, it said, be sure you've cleared out what you did on router 3 and router 5. I was like, whoa, wait a second. But it says here on router 3, it's basically doing the same thing, but out. So it says match all routes that originate from AS254, prepend 200, 200, and apply to a neighbor going out. So anyway, just thought I'd mention that. We're going to continue to carry along with the origin code. Okay. So we've cleared out our configuration for routers 3 and 5. Haha. Now, using, and this text just got really big. There we go. Using origin code, it's probably going to be the same thing. Configure AS200 so that traffic from AS100 going to AS254 transits the link between R4 and R5. Okay, interesting. So let's look at our map. So we want to configure AS200 so that traffic going from AS100 to 254 goes through this link. Now, obviously not this one. So this will only be for traffic that is coming. So we've got a couple routes. We've got a couple ways. I don't think we have to worry about influencing traffic or prefixes going out to router 7, because that's the longer AS path. So we can, in order to force traffic from AS100 to 254 to go out, to go through this link, however, it's saying we need to change the origin code in AS200. Excuse me, and I think what we need to do is do that outbound off router 3. I think that's the best approach. So from router 3, routes that originate from 254, we're going to change the origin code. Essentially, the origin code they will have now is going to be, well, I think this should be eBGP. Not eBGP, sorry. They should rarely be, excuse me, eBGP. But they'll probably say incomplete. And take back what I just said. I think what we would do is change it to EGP. Yeah, I think we changed it to EGP going out instead of incomplete. So let's look at these. Right now, if I'm on router 1, and I do show IP. Well, let's go backwards. Let's go back to router 3, for example. And let's look at the origin code they have now. $254. And notice the origin code says IGP. And that's correct, but once we send them from router 3 to our eBGP neighbor, router 1, they should say, let's see what they say. Clear IPBGP, or show IPBGP regex 5151. Okay, coming from router 3, it doesn't have a code, does it? There's a question mark here, right? Am I looking at the right thing? This is internal. So this is incomplete, so we don't know, in other words. So I think what we would want to do, let's look at router 3. That's what they say too, don't they? Yeah. This is the origin. I was looking at the wrong place. So the origin is unknown because they entered our AS. We don't know how they originated. And they're not IGP, and they're not EGP. So what we could do is make these routes look better when we send them to router 4. And I think we do that by making them, we can't say IGP. I don't think it would honor that. I wouldn't think. Let's try it though for fun. First we'll do EGP. I think that's what we need to do. And it will see that and say, okay, that is a more preferred route than unknown origin code. So let's look at what that will look, let's think about what that will look like in the configuration. And I close that. Come back here, config file. So we're going to do this on router 5. And we're going to say configure terminal, IP access, AS path access list 10, permit underscore $254. And then we're going to use a route map, set origin, permit 10, match AS path 10, set, and what is the set command? For that, I'm going to need to look at a case study maybe. Origin attribute, here we go. Man, this is great, this BGP case study. Of course, it's not available in the lab. It's in the technology section. Origin attribute. All right, it does not tell me how to set it here, but I think there are configuration examples. Set origin. Okay, here we go. So it's under route maps in this section here. And I'm assuming set origin is going to be, okay, IGP or EGP. All right. Let's do set origin EGP. That seems to make more sense. I'm unclear what will happen if an eBGP peer sends us a route that has the origin code set to IGP. Maybe it'll honor it. I don't know. I think it's arbitrary, but we're going to try EGP first just to meet the requirements. And we're going to say route map set origin permit 20. Router BGP 200 neighbor 151.45.4 route map set origin out. And clear IP BGP star soft. Okay, so let's try this on router 5. I think that's all we need. Okay, I liked it. Oh no, it didn't. Notice here, route map set origin permit 10, match AS path 10, set origin. Oh, okay. That's right. I remember Brian McGann, I think, saying in one of the INA videos that at a certain point, the code disable this option. I think you can allow the option, maybe turn it on somehow, but obviously it's going to need to be IGP here. That's our only option. This would have to be a very rare case where you'd want to use something like this. This would be hard to track down if you're troubleshooting something, I would think. It would definitely not be obvious. Clear IP BGP star soft. Okay, so let's take a look. Show IP BGP neighbor 151.45.4 advertised routes. And look at this. Now, am I looking at the right thing here? All right, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, these are status codes. You can see that by how it's arranged in the table. And these would have to be the origin codes. Well, let's take a look at router 4. Let's clear here as well. Clear IPBGP star soft. And let's see what we have left. Oh, look, it does have I. In fact, if we do show IPBGP, include 151.45.5. That almost looks like it set all of them. And that's not what we want. Well, let's look at the show IP route. Okay, it is preferring router 5. Let's look at router 6. Okay, now notice we learn it. Interesting enough, this does say it's internal. It does say internal. It even sets a local preference of 100. It's almost like we've tricked it. Origin IGP. Yeah, it worked. It doesn't look like that on router 4, though. Something doesn't look right. Something does not look right here. All right, let me look at router 5's configuration again. It doesn't jive. Show run section BGP. Okay, yeah, router BGP 200. Oh, this says router 4 is in. Okay, router 4 is in 100. Router 3 is, yeah, he's probably a client of 3. Okay. Yeah, router 5 is in his own AS. Oh, it's showing these as next. Well, 254. Okay, it sees these as interesting. It has 2 routes for this. Show IPBGP 51, 51, 51, 51. This is weird. So this is the one he gets from his client. It's router 2. This is what he gets from router 5. It's a cluster list, yep. Look at that metric, though. Origin incomplete. Okay. And that's what we expect inside of AS200. But when we get to router 4, it shows it as internal, but it shows all these routes as internal. It's definitely preferring a link to router 5. Instead of router 3. In fact, router 3 is not even advertising it. Yeah, I'm a little confused. Okay, let me look at the key here. Okay, now what they're doing in the key is also on router 3, changing the origin to incomplete. I'm not sure why it's doing that because it's already incomplete. But this is correct. $_254. I guess I'm just not understanding all the results I'm seeing in the BGP table. Clear IP BGP soft. Yeah, so the one difference here, and again, I don't think this really makes a difference. It's probably for best practice. It's clean, just to ensure that there's nothing unexpected going to happen. And I get that. I respect that. So it does this. $254. Route map, set origin, permit 10, match AS. Path 10, set origin incomplete. So that, I mean, that makes sense. Takes out any unknowns. It's kind of like insurance. So, yeah, I can respect that. So let's put that on router 3 and just see. We can't use the EGP. Okay, good to know. I don't even think you can run EGP protocol anymore after like 12 something. So anyway, that's what they do. And I think what I'm going to need to do, folks, after this is I will probably take a break. It's been about an hour. And before I move on too far, I want to go back and understand. I want to go back and read through the key carefully and make sure that I understand what's going on there. So I'm going to check that out. And probably another half hour or so, I'm going to come back and we'll work on the next, which is the med. And that may take us through the rest of the evening because that's probably going to be, you know, a little more involved, I would think, than these. But we'll check that out. Thanks for stopping by the stream. I appreciate it. Please like and the video and subscribe. If you enjoy the channel, you can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as shown up there in the nav bar. So thanks again. We will see you here shortly back in the LAN Tamer stream.